Hello, this is Dragonette. I'm just going to try and cover a couple of little stories here. This one is about a nurse.
A nurse in Rutherford County has been indicted after TBI agents caught her stealing drugs from patients. Laura Gallion was a licensed nurse at a Murfreesboro facility. TBI says she stole hydrocodone pills for a patient under her care. She was arrested last month and charged with theft.
Now, I reported, when I had surgery, I reported the nurse
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next.
A nurse in Rutherford County.
Okay. I reported the nurse that was writing down the fact that I was receiving pain medication that I was not receiving. And when I reported it to the head nurse and to the doctors, they laughed at me and said, nurses don't do that. So I would like to know what nurses do if they don't do that. So we've got the article here that says a nurse was charged with now this is a nurse that was in a patient facility for like long-term care or hospice. She was arrested the 24th and her bond was $5,000, it's strange that my simple little case was $5,000 bond, and I never even had a traffic ticket. And yet this is a nurse that has a license, and she gets out on the same bond that I got out on. It's crazy. Anyway, this is the nurse that was indicted for drugs. Now, I wonder if they charge her like they do drug users off the street. We've got, of course, Hunter Biden. He's been indicted. I don't think that looks good on Biden's new run for president. And of course, I knew about the nurse indicted before it came out on the news. I had already received an article. Here's a caregiver arrested and charged in the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for a Medicaid fraud charge. This woman in Murfreesboro had Teresa Ann Smith. She was a paid caregiver, and she ran a homeless type shelter. She would have the elderly people withdraw money from their banks, and she'd put it in her bank, saying that she was doing that to protect their money. And she was arrested for exploitation of a vulnerable adult and theft, $35,000 bond. From what I understand, she was, now this is not on this actual report, but it's from another article that I read. She ran a homeless shelter, but she was charging for the beds. It was only the ones that could come up with the money for the beds that would get a bed. Now, this was a homeless shelter. Usually homeless shelters are first come, first serve, are the ones that get the beds. And she was charging people for the bed. And she was asking anyone that was more or less long-term homeless shelter residents, she would ask them to sign their bank accounts over to her so that she could manage their money. And she managed them right out of their money, period. Let's see what top 5 stories in Rutherford County are. There's a missing teenager. Taylor James Rudger is missing in Murfreesboro. If anyone sees him, please let the authorities know. There's a hair repair and autumn flare going on. Laverne's property tax is going up, and the weathers are bad. There's usually here it is. The news alert, of course, is about the nurse who was indicted and charged by the TBI. And we've always got the Nashville's Most Wanted or Tennessee's Most Wanted, whatever. If we can get him to pop up here. This is the Tennessee's top 10 most wanted. Grand jury indictment, first-degree murder, premeditated, ×2, first-degree murder, felony ×2. That was Condere Wills. Now, Deaton Q. Smith, wanted for murder, first-degree premeditated, attempted first-degree premeditated, aggravated robbery, weapon, dangerous felony. Tyrone D. Walker, wanted for grand jury indictment, first-degree murder, premeditated, felon, weapon in possession. Okay, now that person's wanted. Perry D. Reed, wanted for grand jury indictment, first-degree murder, premeditated. You know what is strange is you rarely hear about these murders. You rarely hear about them. They gloss over them over the news. Okay, wanted for criminal homicide, reckless endangerment ×2, aggravated assault, and weapon dangerous felon. That's Gwendolyn Hobson. Anyone that knows these people, turn them in. They're not safe for the society. And we all know that our police can't do their job, so maybe we need to step up and do it. Diego Camaja Santiago, wanted for aggravated rape, bodily injury ×2, rape statutory ×2. Ladonte Groves, wanted for rape without consent, forced rape without consent. Okay, let me ask, have you ever heard of a rape with consent? That just is confusing. Rape, force, or coercion, sexual battery, force or coercion. It's early in the morning for me, people. Sexual battery without consent, domestic assault. Okay, I suppose you can have rape without consent and rape with coercion if you're doing that with a teen, a pre-adult, 17, Okay, wanted for grand jury indictment is Carl A. Terry, kidnapping, risk of bodily injury, aggravated assault, deadly weapons ×2, weapon, felon in possession, domestic assault, attention to influence witnesses, vandalism. Okay, we've got Amber Fiddler, wanted for aggravated assault, deadly weapon ×2, reckless endangerment, weapon, reckless endangerment weapon, felon in possession. Okay, and last but not least, Aury A-U-R-Y, Aury Newsom, wanted for burglary ×8, aggravated child endangerment, aggravated assault, vandalism, reckless endangerment. Okay, that's what I've got for today. I'm going to try and do these little pieces where I can actually put in some small news articles, because I know some people are tired of seeing my news reports just being recorded from the news to bring attention out to the people. So I'm going to try and do some different ways of news reporting. Please leave your comments. I need to know what you, the viewers, would like to see more of. I know people that like my channel the way it is, with just the recording of the body-worn camera. I just feel that so many people get the same things over and over, and everyone is producing the same video. They may chop it up and change it around and add their words, but it's still the same video. I just want to know what the viewers would like to see. I'm still going to just bring the body-worn camera videos if I can get them. They're getting harder to come by and more expensive, but I love just bringing those because it shows what the real police are doing versus what's being said. But please leave your comments and let me know what direction should this channel go? Should it just remain the same thing? I feel like some people are being bored by it and want, extra things. Right now, because of my court situation, I am not able to get out and actually record the police, but maybe this time, maybe in a few months, I'll be able to get back out there. Okay, this is Dragonette. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.